Okay, so we continue with Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, and we're topic laws of Iska, right? So this document, and last time we review two samples, one sample. No, actually two samples. How this document should be written, and we up to halacha number 9, and it says, let me see, how long is it? 1 second. Wow, it's pretty long, but we're going to read completely, so we have like general idea what we're going to discuss. One who is investing by means of the Kitzur Iska, so meaning this what is it, tool, halachic tool, may wish to protect his investment by drawing promissory note drawn up that are legally binding according to secular law, portraying the transaction as a loan. This is this Seif address whether it may be done. So meaning halachically they did everything the same, not the same, like correctly, but now they want to do also the secular document. So in case something goes wrong, they can go to secular court, I guess. Okay, so let's see. If the investor wants to the recipient to give him an ordinary promissory note that is valid according to the law of the land, I mean, according to the law of the Torah, is not valid. It's completely forbidden. Okay, just so we know before we continue. So that in event that the recipient refuses to make payments or dies, the investor may collect his funds through the secular court without difficulty. While they stipulated earlier that these funds being given as an Iska, it is not effective in avoiding the. It's not effective in avoiding the issues rebis, even if the promissory note is only on the principal. It's very interesting. Since with the note that he is holding, the investor can collect all the funds invested. So I mean, so before we continue, just quickly. So like even if this document, secular document, promissory note, it's not going to say any word about like interest, right? As in some sense implying shtar iska, but here he's saying that since he can collect everything, so it's no longer investment. So it is a problem. Since with the note that he's holding, the investor can collect all the funds invested, right? Even if the event that should be definite loss. So like it was explosion for sure. Like it's not deniable, right? It is therefore prohibited. Moreover, even if the recipient trusts the investor, and he is a pious man who would not collect if it's not permitted, there is a case of the proven loss, nevertheless it is not effective. And even if the recipient gives the investor the Iska document as well, in which it is written that the funds are written in the promissory note are actually being given as an Iska, it is also not effective. For there is a concern that perhaps investor or his heirs will later conceal the Iska document, unbelievable, and collect with a promissory note. So like you have two documents, and I remember one person asked me, so he had a tenant, and this tenant was maybe collecting public assistance or so, I don't know, some government program, and he begged this person to give him a different lease. And like details are irrelevant, but different. So, like specifically for a government office, and this guy, like because he's had a good heart and he wanted to help, another person. So he gave this list, right? For apartment. But when he told me sometimes, and when it started the things started to be a little shady and shaky, right? So I told him you normal? Why this guy would go to court or something? He has two documents from you, signed from you for exactly two exact periods, and he can use whatever list he wants, right? On the first one, the second one, there's your signature. Yeah, you understand? So we should not put you want to help person, that's very good, but you cannot break the law, and you cannot you cannot jeopardize yourself with this double documents, as it says here very clearly. There is no permissible manner to do this, right? Unless Iska document is deposited in the hands of a trustee, okay, or investor personally signs an Iska document, and it is kept in the hands of recipient, or they write on a promissory note that the actual obligation is in a manner that is set forth in the Iska document. But that makes this promissory note useless. Okay, we're going to explain. Or at the very least, that they designate witnesses who can testify that the promissory note is actually according to the terms of the Iska. In any of these instances, even if the promissory note contains both principal and interest, it is acceptable. Okay. So the bottom line, okay, it is acceptable. What is acceptable? It's not clear. So let's try to go from the beginning, and we try to understand what it says here. Okay, so let's see from the beginning. One who is invested by means of Heter Iska. Heter Iska, all of these documents that he's going to pay him salary, and they're going to split the losses, the gain. And he said, look, and if there is a loss, you would have to swear to me, like in a court, holding the Sefer Torah. But if you don't want to swear to me, so I agree to minimum amount. So not 50% of all of the income, right? But minimum, so 15%, 20%, and you don't have to swear. Whatever is extra, you just keep it. Understand? That's what the Heter Iska is, and he makes him a shomer of the money and stuff like that. So all of these beautiful things that we learned last time. Okay. So now, but technically, if it's provable that they have losses, the business have losses, like it was hurricane, everybody knows, or like it was explosion. I don't know what happened. Some exploded in a factory and it's gone. And let's say they did not have insurance in olden days. I'm not sure if they had when they introduced these insurance businesses. I'm not sure. Maybe 100 years ago, maybe more or less, but not. The insurance were not there forever. Understand? So before that, usually today, if you have an investment, you buy insurance. But let's say before insurances, or in country where they do not require insurance, like it was explosion. So guess what? The factory is gone, and this investor should lose everything. Why? Because it's known fact that it is everything burned down. And that's it, right? So technically, he should not get anything back, according to Shtar Iska, right? So Heter Iska. Shtar is a document, but it's the same thing. Okay, continue. If the investor wants the recipient, investor, give him the ordinary promissory note that is valid according to the law of the land. So investor says, look, this Shtar, this Heter Iska is good. It's very good, but just in case something does not work, so I want to make sure that I get my money back, because according to what we said last time and before that, it should not be like that. If it's investment, it's investment. Investment means that you might lose the money. You might win a lot or lose a little or a lot, right? So this guy said, no. He wants his money back and he wants interest as well. right? So he wants at least have a promissory note for a principal. Okay. So according to the laws of the land, meaning that he can go to secular court and even against the heirs, right? So that's one of the points. So let's not think that this guy is a crook, the investor, right? So maybe to get from heirs, the father is a decent person, but they can deny you, whatever, and they said no, we're not going to pay. Right, so according to the land of where they live, this document, this promissory note would suffice. Okay, so that the event the recipient refuses to make a payment or dies, right? People change their minds, right? For example, he lost too much, but too much. Let's say 50%, and now in Shtar Iska it says that he has to pay principal plus 20%. Let's say. And he said, I'm not going to pay, right? Okay. Or dies, as we explained. The investor may collect the funds through the secular courts without difficulty. So let's see the commentary. So meaning that he goes to the secular court, they verify the signatures, stuff like that, and he gets the money from the heirs, or from this guy. Okay, 22. There is the investor is concerned that despite the specific stipulation and document require witnesses or an oath, if the secular court are presented with a document that portrays transaction as investment, he may find it difficult to collect money as he is owned. So before we continue, so this guy thinks, okay, technically this document Kitzur Iska you can take to a secular court, technically, right? Somebody can translate, verify translation, whatever, right? That's very, very possible. Very, very possible. Very, very possible, right? But if the court is going to see the language how it is written here, so of course they would not understand, swear, holding Sefer Torah, this and that. They say, look, it's very, very straightforward. Look, it was he lost all of this money, right? I'm not sure if they need two witnesses, even one witness is like, or even circumstantial evidences that the market went down, this, that. So they say it's investment, so you should lose. Yeah, where's the problem? Right, but so it's investment and not investment. That's what they're trying to say, right? Not that it's normally prohibited to file a claim in secular court. See below 181, 2 and 3 for the particulars of this prohibition. Halachic authorities must be consulted. So halachic authority must be consulted, meaning what? That usually, normally we don't go to secular court, but if, for example, if the second Jew, the one that the recipient said, look, I don't want to give you money. That's it. You for whatever reason, and Beis Din calls him 3 times. He refuses to come. So Beis Din gives permission to the lender to take him to a secular court. Right, official letter that look, we tried to resolve the issue. He refuses. Okay, you go to a secular court. Okay. So one more time, that the investor may collect the funds through the secular court without difficulty, while they stipulate orally that these funds are being given as a iska. So meaning that they wrote a promissory note, but in words they say it's actually investment. It is not effective to avoiding the issue of ribis. So this Kitzur Iska must be written down and signed. Okay. Even the promissory note, note is only on the principal. So even in a promissory note, it says that he only owns this. He invested this $1,000 only for $1,000. So $200 as an interest, not interest, interest. They did not write down. So meaning this guy, we can understand this investor. He's trying to protect his funds, at least to recover the principal. You understand? So for me it makes sense. But logically, whatever this guy is trying to do. Okay. but this promissory note is a false one. You understand? That's not what a real agreement is, right? So he's trying to make it as kosher as possible, but Kitzur said it's not allowed. Since with a note that he's holding, the investor can collect the funds invested. So meaning if he can collect the funds invested, it's no longer investment, right? As we said many times, it is a loan, right? And loan is not allowed in this case. Even in the event that there should be definite loss, as we said, this factory exploded, it is therefore prohibited. Okay. All right. So because again, this promissory note is to say exactly there is a loan. Okay. Moreover, if the recipient trusts investors, and he's a pious man who would not collect if it is not permitted. There is, in the case of the proven loss, nevertheless, it is not effective. So, and even that there is a trust from this from recipients. So, if I'm going to give them this second document, this promissory note that I owe him this principal, right? And this guy is not going to collect unless right? And I don't know. He's not going to collect. Right, unless it is a proven loss, right? So it's still not allowed. So nevertheless, it is not effective. Okay, continue. And even if the recipient gives investor Iska document as well, so it's like we switch in the scenario. Before that, it was this promissory note plus oral agreement. Okay. So now he gives them also Iska document, and even if the recipient gives the investor the Iska document as well meaning in addition to promissory note. That's why I said like two separate documents. They tell about the looks like it's same person, looks like same investment but different details, and it's very confusing. I mean to the court, to us we understand what they're trying to do. In which it is written that the funds written in a promissory note are not actually given as an Iska. Just 1 second. And even if a recipient gives the Iska document as well, in which it is written that the funds in a promissory note are not actually given, are actually given in the Iska. So and then this Iska document, it says that this promissory note about the loan, it's not true. It's actually this Iska. Okay, I mean it's okay. It is also not effective. So meaning so one document is for government, one document is between the Jews, and they say in a Jewish document that document for Jewish court that actually we're telling you now that we actually assigned another document, but it's not a promissory note, it's not a loan, but it's actually Iska. I mean, as he said, it's also not effective. For there is a concern that perhaps investor or heirs will later conceal Iska document. Very simple. So they would conceal the Iska document that it is actually investment and present it as a loan, and that's what many people do. I'm not sure how illegal is it. I'm not sure. I don't want to comment, but they have double passports, right? Let's say I think Israel is allowing double nationality. I think, like you can have this passport and that passport. Some country yes, some country not. But I know some country they do not check. So technically there are some people that have two passports. So when they come in, they come in as a citizens of that country, even though it's not true, but they have a passport. And when they come out, going out of the country, they're using different passport. When they come in a different country, so they choose what passport to give. I'm not sure how legal is it, but I know that's what some people do. Okay, so for easy maybe taxes, maybe I don't know, easy to get passport control. I'm not sure. But right. So meaning, guess what? These people, this investor or his heirs, right? They can do the same. They have double document. They have Iska document, and it is written it's investment, meaning that they can lose the money, and have a promissory note that you must pay. Okay. So guess what? They would decide to conceal one. How did it help? Right, conceal the Iska document and collect the promise with a promissory note. So exactly these people with the double passports. Right, so okay, so that's scary one. And we have to remember, as I think we had a clip and we discussed it before. So I mean, don't put the people like under the pressure financially. I mean, yeah, you were friends, you were relatives, friends from childhood. But guess what? Now you put this person in a position that he actually can cheat you. So guess what? Don't rely on these childhood friends that you share with him. I don't know. It's like your toys in a sandbox. You understand? So don't put people in that situation, because guess what? They might act not as you expected. Okay. So it says this would also jeopardize the enforcement of the Iska document. So meaning the enforcement of Iska document, that is useless. Right. Other authorities, however, are not concerned with this and maintain that it does suffice to write a clause in the Iska contract stating that it is a binding document and that the loan agreement was drawn up only as a source of recourse for the investor in event that the recipient refuses to discharge his obligation that's set forth in an Iska contract. The position is taken by Rabbi Moshe Feinstein, Igras Moshe, Yorediyah 2, chapter 62. Kitzur 2 in his appendix to editorial glosses concedes that there is a room for such leniency. See there for lengthy discussion. As with every Iska, this should be done is a guidance halachic authority. Okay, so let's do this commentary again and we'll try to explain. So this leniency is very interesting. Okay, so one more time. This would jeopardize the enforcement of the Iska document on some sense when you have two documents. One is promissory note and one is Iska. Okay. Other authorities, however, are not concerned with this, right, and maintain that it does suffice to write a clause in the Iska contract stating that it is binding document, so Iska is good, right? And the loan agreement was drawn up only in a source to recourse for investor in the event the recipient refuses to discharge his obligation set forth in an Iska document. So in Iska document, so basically it is an investment and this and that, and it could be lost, but he would have to swear this and that. Okay, so but in case this person, the recipient, would start acting up, right, and would refuse to pay. So in Iska it says there is a second document is written. What? This promissory note, when this investor can go to secular court, right, and actually collect from this recipient. Okay, so the primary document is Iska. If they pay everything, no problem. You never need this promissory note. But if not, so it says that Iska document. If scenario A is not working, so go to scenario B. Okay, which is this position is taken by Rabbi Moshe Feinstein. Rabbi Moshe Feinstein say we do. Okay. So, but again, it must be included. This statement must be included in Iska document. That there is second document. It's don't keep them separate, but make sure one points out to another. Okay. There is no permissible manner to do this unless Iska document is deposited in the hands of the trustee, meaning you have a third person, right, that decided which document to use. I mean, somebody reliable. or the investor personally signs an Iska document. I'm not sure, me personally, I'm not sure why investor would not want to sign the Iska document. I guess if he wants to have this option of a promissory note, right? So he cannot sign like two separate documents based on the same loan. Okay, maybe like this. Okay, and it is kept in the hand of recipient, meaning this Iska document. Okay, or they write a promissory note. There is actually obligation, or they write on the promissory note. There is actually the obligation is in a manner that is set forth in a Iska document, or in this promissory note. They say, you know what? Actually, please go to Iska document. So, and I guess if it's not working, so we're going to treat it as loan. Or at the very least, the designate witnesses who can testify that the promissory note is actually according to the terms of Iska. So meaning they not can making up any things, right, in this promissory note. So it's actually according to Iska, it is investment, but in case you can use it, okay, in case of the need. So commentaries say each of these measures ensure that the investors will not be able to deny the existence of the Iska and collect them from a promissory note. So that's the thing. So to prevent these investors, because they might become agitated, nervous, and say, yeah, just give me my principal back. And with this principle, they what's the problem with the principle, right? The logical question. It's not the interest. You said we said many times the principle is the issue, not the interest in the issue, not the principle. But here, if it's investment means that you might lose money, right? So it's not a loan. Investment is not a loan. So okay, so we finished this. So let me see if we have any questions. So basically, if you can cross-reference this document and say one was right, seclusion, yeah, with the money, that's yeah, thank you. Right, all the other questions from earlier on, I think. Okay, so time is. Okay, so let's do one more. Number 10. In the following two Seifim, Kitzur discusses the circumstances in which Heter Iska is not effective. Okay, and what recourse the parties have in such a cases. Okay. And it says, Iska document is not effective to permit the agreement unless in truth it is so. So we said many times, don't even I think yesterday, right, when we learned the Hilchas Dios, we said that Hashem's way, it's not way, it's way, straight path. All the good things, in where was it? The sentence is in plural, but path in a singular. Why? Because it's only one straight path. So meaning when people try to circumvent the system, it's a big issue. Okay. So one more time, the Iska document is not effective to permit the agreement, unless in truth it is so. Okay. So meaning it is investment. That the recipient is taking the funds in order to invest them in the business venture. Okay. So that's okay. But if he is not taking the funds for the purpose of business venture, but rather to repay some debt or the like, the Iska document would then not be effective, since it is untrue, and they may conduct the transaction in the following manner to avoid the Rabbi's prohibition. For example, Reuven, who is in need of money, has some merchandise, even in a different place. He may sell it to Siman, even at a very low price, with the provision that the option with a provision that the option is in Reuven's hands, that if he does not turn over the merchandise to Shimon before such and such date, he will pay such and such. There's a higher price to Shimon for it. Okay. For that, Shimon may see a reasonable profit from the transaction. Shimon is now give Reuven the money, and they must effective and they must execute an acquisition with a kerchief, okay, for the validation of the sale. This is accomplished by having Shimon to the purchaser give Reuven, the seller, a bit of his clothing to take hold of, and in this manner he acquires the Reuven's merchandise. This is effective even if it was not performed in the presence of witnesses. The merchandise is now the responsibility of Shimon, the purchaser. Thus, the transaction is considered a sale, not a loan, and when the date of delivery of the merchandise arrives, Reuven does not deliver the merchandise, it will be permissible for Reuven to pay Shimon the agreed upon amount, even though he's paying more money that he received from Shimon. Okay, so it's very interesting case, very, very interesting case. We're going to go over it and see the commentary and try to explain. It sounds complicated, but it is not. So I'll try to explain it simply. Okay. So one more time, the following two Seifim discuss the circumstances which Heter Iska is not effective. Okay. And what records the party have in such a case? So again, the main idea, the Heter Iska is investment. So loan is out of the question. If loan without interest, there is no problem. But person not interest, without profit. So if somebody wants to get profits, it's only from business transaction. It must be extra money that somebody else paid, but not the recipient. That's the point. Okay, so in this example, it's not going to work. An Iska document is not effective to permit an agreement unless in truth it is so. Meaning what? That it is truly a business investment. So unless it is, if he's borrowing the money, it's not business investment, so no Heter Iska. That the recipient is taking the funds in order to invest them in a business venture. Okay, so he invests and from profits he shares with investor. Okay, that's kosher. But what is not kosher? But if he's not taking the funds for the purpose of business venture, but rather to repay someone that, and he owes them that, and he wants to pay back, and he agrees to pay extra as an interest, right? That's not allowed, right? Right? That or the like, right? Or okay, the Iska document would not then be effective, okay, since it is untrue, meaning it is not business. So if he's buying, for example, a field, and he's going to work on the field, and he was going to create profit from the field, there's no problem. So it's a business investment. Or he buys an apartment, for example, with this money for investment, and he's going to rent out this apartment. For sure it's business investment, right? But just to pay back the debts, it's not business investment. Okay, so since it is not true, so it is not good. But what is good? I love this example. But they may conduct a transaction in the following manner and avoid the Rabbi's prohibition. So in some sense, this transaction is in some sense, it's close to what we do on Pesach, right? When we sell, not exactly, not one-to-one, but big idea is the same, how we sell this chametz to non-Jew, right? So he has to come up with the money so he pays us $10, right? A rabbi would come to non-Jew and say, look, we have chametz to sell. He said, yeah, I love chametz, right? So we're going to sell it from 5,000 people, let's say, and it costs $500,000, let's say. I don't know, I'm just making up numbers, right? I mean, if you have right, possible. This guy Jews, not Jews, said, okay, I'm ready to give deposit. How much is deposit? 25 cents, Psh, or dollar. Okay, so he gives us $1 as deposit. No problem. So the deposit, the transfer of we do the transfer through the Kenyan. He gets all of this homage. So all of the homage is his, but he has to come up with the rest of the money when right after the Pesach starts. So before Pesach, it's a holiday today, so we cannot accept money. But after Pesach, please, Mr. Non-Jew. So Pesach is over at 7:15 on Wednesday. So please give me the rest of this $500,000 right on that time. So I give you exactly 1 hour to come up with the money. If you're not going to come up with the money, the sale is over. Right, so I mean, the sale is canceled. So meaning, you did not deliver. So I'm going to keep the merchandise instead of your money. So that's in some sense. In some sense, that's how it works. And here is the same. I mean, in some sense, we're going to see. And it says, but they may conduct a transaction in the following manner to avoid the Rabbi's prohibition. For example, Reuven, who is in debt of money, has some merchandise even in a different place. Okay, so Reuven needs money and he has a merchandise in a different place, in different city, let's say, and he sells to Siman, right, in a low price. So he said, I have I don't know, kegs of honey, right? Of honey, 7 of them, right? And I can sell you $100 for all of them, which is nothing, right? Okay. With a provision that the option that Reuven, with provision that the option is in Reuven's hands, right? So Reuven the seller, that if he does not turn over the merchandise to Siman before such and such date, he will pay such and such the high price to Siman for it. So he sells this Reuven needs money, and he money, and he said to Siman, I have this honey in another town, right, by my mother-in-law, right, and I can sell it to you, and if I don't deliver it to you by such and such date, guess what? My fault. I'm going to pay you compensation. So, and compensation might be higher because this compensation is a penalty. So, penalty is I'm not sure if there is a limit to the penalty. I'm not sure. Maybe yes, maybe no. I mean, in a personal agreement. Okay. So he said, look, if I'm going to come to my mother-in-law, I'm going to bring you honey, but it's not. If I'm too lazy, this and that, so I'm just going to give you money enough that you can go and buy locally. So meaning that he's borrowing and he's going to pay back much more than, not much, whatever, more than he borrowed. That's the thing. Okay, that's the idea. Okay. Just one second. So he will pay such and such higher price to Siman so that Siman may see a reasonable profit from this transaction. Meaning, look, Siman, I apologize if I'm not going to deliver. So, I apologize for wasting your time. Here's the compensation. Go buy this honey locally, maybe even cheaper. Okay, no problem. Commentary. This is permissible since it is one-time payment that has features of the penalty rather than interest. See Shulchan Aruch Harav, Hilchas Ribis, chapter 46. Okay, so it is as we understand correctly, right? It is a penalty, not ribis. Siman is to now give Reuven the money, so he pays him the money, and they must execute the acquisition of the kerchief, right? There is right, so they have to do the acquisition without these actual things, right? That they, as we said, they in another town, right? This is form acquisition. It transfers the legal ownership of the merchandise from the seller to buyer, even the merchandise is not present in a place of acquisition. Meaning, we call it kinyan. So kinyan meaning in this case is a kerchief or whatever other article we can do somehow, right? Other form of acquisition, you can hand it to other person something, or he can pick it up, or like he can move it, or like if it's car he start driving, or right, or if it's a cow he should pull it, so it takes 2 steps for it or something, right? So but with this transaction, so he just leave this what is it, this kerchief, and that's enough. Okay, and it is a legal sale, but in order to sell, right, the sale is fine. The sale went through, but this guy, Reuven, has to deliver the merchandise, right? So he has the option. So the option was written, I give you merchandise, or I'm going to give you your money back with penalty. That's the thing. This is accomplished by having Siman the purchaser give Reuven the seller a bit of clothing, right, and take hold of it, and in this manner he acquires the Reuven's merchandise. Okay, so this merchandise belongs to Siman, but it's not in his possession yet. Okay, so Reuven must deliver the merchandise. Okay. This is effective even it was not performed in the presence of witnesses. Okay, the merchandise is now responsibility of Siman, the purchaser. Right. So right, it is his. It is his, and what am I saying? That's exactly what we do on Pesach. Okay, so before Pesach. Once Siman has made a legal acquisition of the merchandise, so Siman is a lender, right? Any loss to the merchandise would be borne to Siman. So once he bought it, even though it's on the territory of Reuven, whatever happens, he's going to lose. So Reuven is not obligated to compensate him because it's not his, right? Borne to Siman. The transaction is thus effective immediately and not subject to the prohibition of advancing funds for the purchase where the possession is taken only in a later date, right? So he bought everything like right now. Okay. Continue. Thus, transaction is considered sale, not a loan, right? And when the date of delivery of the merchandise arrives, and Reuven does not deliver the merchandise, it will be permissible for Reuven to pay Siman the agreed upon amount, even though he is paying more than he received from Siman. But as we said, there is a penalty, and right? That's penalty is fine. There is no problem. So, but in others, in other cases of business practice, when we're not allowed to pay penalty today. Why? Because we don't have a court that can issue penalty. So in order to issue penalty, it must be a court of ordained judges, with a smicha, real smicha from Eretz Israel that was passed from Moshe Rabbeinu until the teacher who would gives you a smicha. So since it's long gone for a long time ago, so that's why we're not allowed to judge the cases with penalty. We judge the cases, but the person would just pay the premium, the principal, not premium, the principal, but no penalty. Right? Simple example. If somebody two people went to court, and one said that I deposited such and such item with Reuven, but Siman said that I decided to deposit with Reuven, and Reuven said it was lost. It's not true, right? But he said it was lost. Okay, the case is closed, and then Reuven does the shoe, and he comes and say, you know what? I swear that it was lost. I lied. So according to Torah law, he has to pay if this item is still in the world, he has to return it, and plus pay 1/5, like a penalty, right? Knas. But since today there is no penalty, so he just has to pay the volume of the item or return the item itself. Okay. So we stop here. Very good.